Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and you may notice I'm not where I usually am. So sorry about that. I have moved. It was supposed to be a temporary move. We'll see how we go. I have always wanted to film in natural daylight. I'm always happiest filming in natural daylight. I just think it gives you guys the most realistic view of colours and skin tone and the makeup and how everything looks that is physically possible. But it is very, very tricky and it's very hard to achieve, but I'm giving it a go. We're going to see how it goes. At the moment, I've been kicked out of my usual filming space because some work is being done. There's some construction going on. It's a long story. So this is kind of my option, and I decided to go for it. We've got a very big, nice window that lets a lot of natural daylight in here. Obviously, natural daylight is very changeable, so we'll see. I do have my ring light on hand if things get really hairy, but yeah, hopefully this is going to work out. We'll see. Maybe I can stay up here, fingers crossed, because for me, you just can't beat natural daylight for showing you the real tea. It may take a little bit of time to tweak settings and things so that everything is perfect here, or as perfect as I can get it, but bear with me. I think it'll be worth it if we can film in the natural daylight. So today I have a few products that are either new or new to me that I haven't used or haven't demonstrated or shown you or given you my thoughts on my channel. So I thought we'd whack them all in a oneer, give you the value for money that we all deserve, and go through them all today. So first up we have the Nars Climax palette that I've been absolutely desperately waiting for arriving in the UK, so I'm going to be trying that one for you. I've also got the Tom Ford Shade Illuminate concealer, the concealer to match my Holy Grail foundation. Very high hopes for that one. I've got a new foundation from Cle De Peau. This is their Radiant Cream foundation, and I also have one of the new Tom Ford blushes, as well as a lipstick from Guerlain to show you in a new formula that I haven't tried before. So without further ado, let's play with some makeup. Starting off with this absolute stunner. I know lots of people have spoken about this, and I have to say it's everything they say and then some. I've used this a couple of times and I kind of stayed in like the top row, and I used this shade and they're like incredible. So today I'm going to use the greens because, oh, why not? So I'm using that matte green down here to start with in the crease. So like I said, we are in a different space. It's going to take me a bit of time to work things out here. There might be little tweaks that we need to make as far as lighting, and obviously I don't have any lights on me, but there are lights in the background, and there's like the windows, and maybe I might need to move away from one, or I might need to move the curtain across behind me. It might be a bit of a learning curve, and camera settings might need a bit of a tweak as well, but we will get there. And I'm sure you can see already, just things are just a lot more how you would see them in real life when you use natural daylight. I think when you look at this is exactly how it will look when you receive it, whereas when you're using lighting, and I've always tried to make sure that my lighting and my camera settings mimic daylight as much as possible, but it's honestly so hard to mimic daylight. I always use like daylight bulbs and make sure that the lighting is daylight set and everything else, and make sure that all my camera settings are as natural as possible, but obviously it still isn't natural daylight, and you just can't really mimic that. And even just the strength of the light, that matters. Do you know what I mean? That makes a difference. So although I'm using the right temperature to mimic daylight and the right bulbs and everything, because I'm using, you know, lights, the shadow they cast and where they're placed and how far away and how strong, all of that makes a difference as well. So it's been a constant irritation to me because I just want things to look like natural daylight, and it's just never been an option before. In my most recent filming space, which has been my filming space for quite some time, I kind of moved around a little bit, I think last year, but I was still in the same room. So it was downstairs, which is the main issue because you have less light downstairs than upstairs because you're obviously closer to the sun up here. So that was an issue. That was the issue I was struggling with. We've been renovating our home since we moved in, and we finally got round to basically doing that bit of the house, the kitchen is and everything. So that's why I've been kicked out and I'm up here now. So I don't know that I can stay up here forever. It all depends. At the moment, we have no guest bedroom because this was our guest bedroom. So that's problematic, but we'll hopefully get that back pretty quickly once the room I was filming in can become the guest bedroom. And everything will be fine, we hope. Now I'm going to use this green shimmer. I haven't used this one yet. So pretty. The formula of the shimmers in here, it's like they're wet. That's what I'm noticing. And it's like you get no fallout from them, but they are like wet looking. I was a bit worried about this green. I thought it was going to be like too dark. It looks quite dark in the pan, but it's perfect. Wow, that's gorgeous. Exactly the same as the other shimmers that I've already used in here. That sort of wet look. Really reflective, almost like a cream kind of consistency, like no fallout, no powderiness. Absolute dreamboat. So now I'm going to use this shimmer at like the front of my eye. The issue, which I'm sure you'll notice in this video with actual real life natural daylight, is that it does change. Like every cloud that passes and everything else, you're going to get little changes in shadow and everything like that. So that is the kind of payoff. Like there's pros and cons of every situation. And I feel like, you know, the pros and cons as far as natural daylight are way, way better than like the pros and cons of using a lot of artificial lights when you literally have no idea what you're doing. So I just did a coat of my Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes mascara. And now for the product that I'm the most excited to try today, because I have not tried this at all. This is the new Cle De Peau foundation. This is the Radiant Cream Foundation. So this has existed, or they've done a cream foundation before, but it looks like they've reformulated it and repackaged it and everything. And I didn't try the original, so I was excited to try this. As you guys know, I have a very good track record of loving Cle De Peau foundations. The Radiant Natural foundation is like in my top 3 holy grails. Love it, beautiful. So this one I'm excited for. It's supposed to be like a full coverage, dewy finish, long wearing dream foundation of dreams. The one thing I have noticed already that I'm cross about is it's 21 mils. Stingy. It's a very expensive foundation and it's a bit stingy, you know. Could have given us a 30. I would have liked to see a 30. What I'm going to deduce from this fill level is that a little is going to go a long way. It's a cream foundation. It looks pretty thick. It's not going anywhere on my tray, so that's a good sign. So that's what I'm going to hope for, is that this little splodge is going to do my whole face with a full coverage. Then I mean, I won't forgive them because I still think 30 is just what I should be receiving in foundation. So, Sonia G Jumbo Base. Okay, it's always nice to try a foundation when you know what your shade is going to be and there's no like surprises. Surprise, that's not right. I like that. So I did know that I was going to be, well, I went with my winter shade because obviously it is almost October. So I thought that was a sensible thing to do. So the shade is 40, 040, 040. And that's my winter shade in Cle De Peau foundations. Do you know what? This is weird because I was expecting like full coverage is in like a full coverage. Do you know what I mean? Like the Jouer is full coverage or the Huda is full coverage. That's what I was expecting with like one drop. And it's definitely not. I'd say this is like a medium too full. I mean, it's got some coverage there, don't get me wrong, but it's looking very natural for like quite a high coverage foundation. Let's see what we get. I am going through my splodge quite quickly, I will say that. Going on very nicely with a brush, no issues. Any sort of brush marks are easily being buffed in. Splodge is still going just about. It's just, this is very different to what I was expecting. When I hear something is a full coverage cream foundation, I'm just expecting like cake. Not necessarily cakiness like in a bad way. I'm just expecting it to be like heavy and thick looking and very just makeup-y, and this is looking like natural and skin-like still. This is all great news. So my splodge has gone, but that little splodge, it did give me the full coverage on a full face with a brush. I don't think it would with a sponge, let's say that. But yeah, a brush with this one. And we have got a full coverage. Currently very glowy skin looking. Not mad at that. So far, so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it so far. No complaints. We'll see. It's very early days. I'm going to give it some time to make itself at home, to settle in, to dry down, to soak in to places, if it's going to do that. And we'll check back in momentarily. Next up, we have the Shade and Illuminate Concealer. Something else I've been very excited to get my hands on. It took a long time to come here. Been out for weeks in the US, but yeah, it's just arrived here now in the UK. Very excited to try this one. I picked up the shade Taupe. For everybody wondering, 2W1. I felt like that was a good neutral shade that I can kind of get away with now, but will work for me in winter. It has that same exact scent as the foundation, the same stunning, very heavy, weighty, bougie packaging as the foundation, which I love. Obviously had high hopes for this concealer, given that the foundation is my holiest of grails. I love it. So I have used this concealer a couple of times, and I definitely have some thoughts. So my first thought is this shade is excellent for me. It's a nice neutral. At the moment, it's probably a little lighter than I would like use with my current skin tone, but give it a few weeks and it will be ideal. As we move further into the autumn months, the sun stops pretending it's summer here in the UK, it will be perfect. But yeah, the undertone is ideal. It goes on beautifully. It's got a nice consistency. I like the dough fit. I like the packaging. Of course, I love the packaging. The packaging is amazing. A little definitely goes a long way, especially when using a brush to get the most bang for your buck, most value for money. It's very creamy and the coverage is amazing, absolutely there. Full coverage moment, covers everything, all of my sins, everything I had for breakfast, all of my late nights, and all of my secrets. It's very smooth under the eye is what I notice. So at first I was like, coverage and everything very similar to the Pat McGrath. I do find this one has a bit more radiance to the finish, like it stays a little bit more of a glow under there even when set, which I really like. I don't usually. I find sometimes it's just too much, like too much glow, too much radiance under there. For me is not a good thing. This one is just the right amount. Just looks healthy and radiant as opposed to it being like glowy or like reflective, if that makes sense. But I find it really smoothing on the old under eye situation. I find it looks flawless, smooth. Everything is covered and it doesn't crease. Oh, So yeah, so far I'm loving it. Obviously it is significantly more expensive than my Holy Grail, my Pat McGrath. So I'm going to need a little bit more time to decide which is best. Obviously price-wise, the Pat McGrath, and if there's not sort of a significant difference, I would just go for that one because it's like a third of the price. But there's potentially some little things that I do like about this one more. One being the smoothness, which I think is definitely there a bit more than the Pat McGrath. I think it's a bit smoother. And that beautiful radiant finish, which is what I love so dearly about the foundation, is in the concealer as well. So I do really, really like it. That's what I'm saying. Have I quite accepted the price point yet? No, but you know me, I'll always get a discount. I'll always get like at least 10 or 15% off before I'm buying anything like that that's permanent. As I always say to you guys, anything, wait for a sale because there's always going to be one. But yeah, so far I'm unfortunately a big fan and I think it's amazing. A very nice concealer, although it is obviously very expensive. So yeah, at the moment I couldn't tell you that I loved it more than my Pat McGrath because that one has been in my life a lot longer. I'm a lot more committed with that one. It's a lot more, I've got a lot more experience with it. So I'll keep you posted as to where it stands, but no bad news or no good news, I'm afraid. I actually really do like it, so that's sad. I wish I could tell you it's rubbish and save your money, but unfortunately it's not the case. It is a very nice concealer. So I don't have a new bronzer to show you, so I just went in with my Charlotte Tilbury tried and tested. And next up we're going to have a go with one of the new Tom Ford blushes. So I chose the shade Peach Poison. I liked how this gave me a peachy shade and like a neutral shade, two of my favourite type of blushes. Here are the swatches. I don't know what to do here. I don't know if to do one cheek with one blush and the other with the other, or to mix. I feel like mixing. Is that crazy? Am I mad? Who knows? Should we do it? Should we do it? I feel like that's kind of how I want to use it. Call me crazy. So I just did a little dab in each side. This is my Sonia G Lotus detail brush, my favourite. I mean, that's nice, isn't it? That is very pretty. I think from some of the swatches I've seen of these blushes, it seems like this one was had the more luminous finish to it. So this is like the neutral shade, I think, is the more luminous. Yeah, definitely. And then the peach is the more matte. Just built up the swatches there so you could kind of see them a bit clearer. I saw my friend Michelle Wong talking about these blushes, and one of the things she kind of pointed out was how smooth the texture is, and that is definitely something that I found really noticeable, like versus other formulas. It's absolutely smooth as anything, very, very flattering on texture and everything. Just gonna a little buffery there, the edges, but yeah, it's gorgeous. Very, very smooth. There's not really much luminosity when, like in comparison to something like the Laura Mercier or the Pat McGrath. I'd say it's like there's a matte and like a satin, maybe. Yeah, no sort of glow really. There's just a slightly more natural finish to the neutral shade than there is the peachy shade, which is like definitely a matte in this compact. I think they seem to like vary. Like I said, I kind of chose this one because I like the shades, but also because from looking at comparison swatches, it seemed like this one had a little more luminosity than any of the others. But I really like the blush. I think it's the perfect combo for me, the peachy shade and the neutral shade. I think mixed together, they're gorgeous, gorgeous on their own. You've basically got three options. You've got a peachy blush, a neutral blush, and one in between. So I like that. And yeah, as far as the formula, it's nice and buildable. You can get as much or as little pigment as you like quite easily. I'm a fan. And it is very smooth, so that's a nice bonus. A very smooth, healthy, natural looking cheek. So last for blush, Last for lipstick, I got this little sample when I ordered my Guerlain perfume, which I unboxed on my Instagram if you want to check that out. And I've got this little freebie lipstick, and I've never tried this formula. This is the Guerlain KissKiss Creamy Shaping Lip Colour in the shade 334. So I thought, why not? Let's try it. This packaging. It's very cute. I don't know how to open it. What's happening? Does it twist off or pull? It pulls. Okay. Fine. I mean, very cute. I don't think this is going to go with the eye look, but what can you do? Has a similar scent to the YSL lippies, just not as strong. That is like a perfect little coral lip, isn't it? Very, very comfortable, very high shine, which I love. Nice amount of pigment, very smooth, juicy lip. Not mad at it at all. Let's have a little reflection on the products that I tried today. Let's start off with this palette now. I've been using this palette for about a week. I've tried it several times. I think I've used every shade in here at this point, and I'm in love. I think it's amazing. I think it's everything that we've already heard and seen from other reviews so far on this palette. It is gorgeous. All of the shades are stunning. The shimmers are the stars of the show. They're so creamy and reflective and wet looking. I think it's beautiful. The colour story is just stunning. Love the packaging. This is an absolute win for me. Nars's best palette as far as I can think of. Next up, this Cle De Peau Beauty Radiant Cream Foundation. At this point, I am in love, let me tell you. I was just having a very close up in my mirror, and it's so smooth and glowy looking and perfected. The coverage is there. It's definitely like a medium to full. I didn't really build it up. I wanted to see, you know, how little we could use, given that it's a smaller fill. And yeah, teeny splodge is going to get you like a medium full. A little bit of a larger splodge, you'll have full coverage. It's not soaking into lines. It's not exaggerating lines. Everything is looking fresh, smooth, youthful, very flattering and very glowy. I'm a big fan so far. I'll let you know how it wears throughout the day, but so far so very good from my first impressions. The Tom Ford concealer, as I said, it's stunning packaging, glorious. Love the doe foot, love the colour, very smoothing, great coverage, wears great, doesn't crease on me or settle into lines or get worse throughout the day or anything like that, doesn't budge. I'm a big fan. It may be a new holy grail. I just need a bit more time. You know, the Tom Ford blush, I'm very happy with the shade I picked up. I think it's beautiful. I like that I've got 3 options. I can use them one, 2 or 3 swirled together, and I like all 3 of the ways that it turns out. I think it's very, very pretty. I think it's a very easy formula, and I agree it's a very smooth, kind of airbrushed finish to the skin. Do I think this is worth like double a Pat McGrath blush or double a Laura Mercier or Nars blush? No, I think it is a nice blush and I really, really like it. But yeah, you'll be fine. You don't have to buy these. They are very, very expensive. You can certainly get a Pat McGrath blush and you're going to be just as in love, in fact more so. I definitely prefer like Desert Orchid from the Pat McGrath collection over this one. So that would be my recommendation, is if you're not too worried about the money, they are nice blushes. They're not going to fail you. You're not going to be disappointed. But are they special enough to justify being twice as much as some of those others? I don't think so. And last but not least, this little bonus item from Guerlain, the KissKiss lipstick. I think this is gorgeous. I would definitely wear this. I think the formula is very, very nice. And the packaging is lovely as well. And I was really impressed with Guerlain's whole packaging and everything. I did an unboxing of their fragrance. This was one of the many free samples I received. So yeah, I would absolutely try more of these. I think the finish is very, very juicy and flattering and just what I look for in a lipstick. So yeah, this colour, although I don't know, maybe it goes, I don't know. It's appropriate because we can't decide if it's autumn or summer, so I've got both going on. And that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.